In the background of study, we discuss about what is stress. Stress is categorized into three major categories, which are silent trauma, chronic stress, and daily irritation. Different people have different stress factor. For students, usually stress is due to exam and homework. So for the problem statement, we are going to discuss about the factor of stress among UUM undergraduate students. Okay, for the research question, does parent support, peer support, financial support, time management, and workload relate to stress among UUM undergraduate students? Okay, for the research objective, to examine the relationship between all the 5 IB that mentioned in the research question with stress. Scope of study. This study is conducted in University Utara Malaysia. The data collection will be conducted involving 300 UUM students. This study will not cover other problems that are not considered about stress. It will be conducted using questionnaire to the student as a survey and reference. By this method, the researcher will be able to know the major factor of stress among the students. According to George Essel and Patrick Owusu 2017, the definition of stress is the process by which an individual or a person reacts when open to external or internal problem and challenge. Okay, next. For the parent support, the definition is an integrated network of community-based resource and service that strengthens parenting practice and the healthy development of children. A healthy parent is a healthy child. Okay, for the financial support, in Dictionary 2019, financial support can be loans, guarantee, credits, indemnities, equity injection or contribution, or any other form of financial support. For the time management, according to Kabir 2017, time management can be defined as the process of structuring our life so that we maximize our time and energy on what is most important to us and minimize the time we spend on activities we do not value. For the workload, according to the Hart and Stefflen 1988, the perceived relationship between the amount of mental processing capability or resources and the amount required by the task. Other than that, workload can be said that it is represent the relationship between a group or individual, human operator, and task demand. Its relevance of study. This research will be beneficial to the student because they will learn the excessive stress will give the negative impact to their life. In this study, all students will be more aware and gain more knowledge about the stress. This research also will be beneficial to the counselor and administration because they can understand better and realize the effect of stress towards the student. Hence, they will find appropriate way to cope with student attitude. It also can help parents to solve the problem of stress by giving advice and comfort their children. For the summary for the introduction, it is obvious that all students will experience stress at one time or another. Stress is the normal reaction that can give positive and negative impact. Stress management is important because sometimes stress can cause fatigue, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, and others.
Hi, my name is Nurhani binti Muhammad Isa and my matric number 247592. I will present about chapter 2, which is literature review. In this chapter, there are definition and concept of stress, factor that can influence stress, theoretical background, theoretical framework, research on development on research hypothesis, and lastly summary of the chapter 2. So I will proceed with a definition and concept of stress. Stress is a process by which an individual or person who react when open to internal and external problem and challenge. This definition means that the stress can affect our external problem like parent support, financial support and workload, while internal problem may affect in emotional, desire or behavior that we have in ourselves. Next, I will proceed with the factor that can influence stress. There are many factors that can influence stress, but for the purpose of the study, we just focus on 5 variables, which is parent support, peer support, financial support, time management, and lastly workload. We choose this variable because this variable is commonly related to stress. First, we will look at the parent support. Parent support can influence the stress because when lack the parent support, the student might feel the stress because no one to give the advice for them, so that they will lose confidence. They will don't have no one to share the problems. Next, I will proceed to the peer support. Peer support is a second person who close to the student after parents. In factor support, peer support can influence stress in terms of they might feel lonely because no one to share the problem. Peer support also can help to motivate them to think rationally and to think how to solve the problems. Next, I will proceed with the financial support. Financial support is a critical issue among students nowadays because students need a strong financial support in order to fulfill their student needs life. The lack of financial support can cause stress among students because they need money to buy the book needs of daily life. Next, I proceed with the time management. The related of time management and stress among students is in terms of how they manage their time in both academic and non-academic. How they can manage their time on how hour they can manage their study and how can they divide the university activity and club activity. Lack of time management can cause student stress because they don't have enough time to finish their assignment, and because of fear responsibility, it might put pressure for them. Last but not least, workload. Workload can influence students' stress because they need to think a lot of things. They need to think. They need to finish the assignment in a given time, so it will put pressure on them. Based on the research have done by the researchers say that the higher level of study, the more workload they will get and the more stress will get. Okay, next I will proceed with theoretical background. There are three theories that can explain more about stress, which is stimulus-based model, response-based model, and transaction-based model. The first stimulus-based model. Stress in this model interpret as a stimulus as a factor that can cause in our body. This theory explains a positive and negative life event that can happen to our life. Next, I will proceed with response-based model. Stress in this model interpret as a response. This model was developed by Sally, stated that stress as non-specific response of body at any kind of demand that apply to it. Lastly, transaction-based model. Stress in this model interpret as transaction developed by Lazarus. Lazarus point out that in certain environment condition can cause stress on individual, but in different strength and weakness in certain event. Lazarus more focus on individual with cognitive evaluation theory. Okay, next I will proceed with theoretical framework. This is our theoretical framework, which is it explains the independent variables such as parent support, peer support, financial support, time management, and workload will influence the dependent variable, which is stress. Okay, next I will proceed about development of research hypothesis. For development of research hypothesis is explain that it must be clear, specific, and predictive statement, or stable propositions regarding the possible outcome in scientific research study, which is based on a population or relationship in between variables. Firstly, I will explain about the relationship between parent support and stress. Parent are person that close to student. Parent will be the priority to students because they spend time mostly together. If relationship between parents and student are not good, it might impact student life. They will do rebellion, become drug addict, or do criminal offense. The theory of transaction-based model can be interpreted in this relationship because this theory explains about the factor of an individual to get stress from their surrounding or environment, which be prevented by the parent support. Parent support will influence the student inner emotions. The article from Michael Kirkpatrick Desmarais stated that the parent support important to the student because it influences the physical and emotional symptom of the children. The result that researchers get from previous research to the student prove that the parent support is the critical factor for their member or children. The hypothesis in this relationship can be explained as H. Now, there is no negative relationship between parent support and stress, while from H alternative, there is positive relationship between parent support and stress. Okay, next, I will explain about the relationship between peer support and stress. Peer support can exist when a person has the experience, knowledge, social, emotional, or practical to help each other. The student get the support or motivation from their peer in order to have a rational thinking and get a solution to solve their problem. Peer support can be explained through theory transaction-based model. Based on theory of Lazarus, focus on the fact that there are differences among people in interpretations of stress as a stimulus or as a response. According to Lazarus, a certain environment condition may lead stress to an individual. Peer support is one of the reasons where it can help the student to reduce the amount of stress. Based on previous study, have found that the researcher indicate based on previous study found by the previous researcher found that supportive peer correlate negatively with the stress. The hypothesis in this relationship can be described as H. Now, there are no negative relationship between peer support and stress, while in H alternative, there are negative relationship between peer support and stress. Then I proceed to the relationship between financial support and stress. Financial support are the most critical issue among the students, especially to those who are from poor family. Financial problem can lead the student to stress. Financial problem can be explained through the theory transactions-based model. For this problem, we can say that different person has different background of financial and it will be involve individual for different issue or problems. Based on the previous study, Joe, Dormat and Graeber in 2008 found that the student who have the financial problem have to sacrifice their study, such as drop out a semester or reduce their course load in order to work more hours to support their study fees. Less financial support will be push the student to the stress. So hypothesis for H-null is there is no negative relationship between financial support and stress, while for H-null, while for H alternative, there is a negatively relationship between financial support and stress. Okay, next I will continue explain about the relationship between time management and stress. Generally, time management and stress can be related in terms of how students can manage their time in handling handling some tasks in a specific time. Students always experience high stress because of lack or not in good to manage the time. Time management can be explained in the stimulus-based model in terms of lifestyle of student. According to Holmes stated that there are 43 life events or lifestyle change which can cause stress. The negative relationship between time management and stress are found in the literature. According to McKenzie, in 1990, find that the lower of stress level are more stronger correlated with the factor perceived control of time. Stress level can be higher or lower will depend on how good students are in manage their time. For this relationship, there is so the relationship between time management and stress for H-null is there is no positive relationship between time management and stress, while for H alternative there is negative relationship between time management and stress. Lastly, the relationship between workload and stress. Workload can make the student feel stressed because they need to think a lot of work that they are responsible to handle. According to Rosen, Lomer and Kindle 1919 say that the higher level of study, the more work they will get and the more high stress they will get. Workload can relate in transaction-based model in terms of how the student will react in different situation conditions. It is because this model explains people can get stressed at different environmental conditions depend on individuals that have different strength and weakness at certain situations. So the hypothesis for this relationship for H-null is there are no positive relationship between workload and stress, while for H alternative there is negative relationship between workload and stress. Okay, lastly I will talk about summary of this chapter. In our conclusion, there are many factors that can lead to stress like financial support, financial problem, because it involves economy, income, and government rules. Next, for the parent support, they are important because it was initial to the student. As a parent, is the most close to them or deep about family member. Besides that, we need peer support because we need someone that we can make a friend beside our family. It is because we cannot do assignment without our friend, and we cannot work alone. We need a friend to work together to make assignment complete. Moreover, workload also influence the stress, and time management also can give an influence stress among UUM students. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurul Adni. I will explain on Chapter 3. In this chapter, we will outline the research design population, sample and unit of analysis, sampling design, data sources, data collection methods, and data analysis. Instruments for data collection were all discussed under this chapter. For the research design, the focus of this study is to identify the factor that influence stress level among UUM undergraduate students. This will enable the researchers to collect relevant data, work efficiently, and have a deeper understanding of the factor that influence the stress level among UUM undergraduate students. Our population is undergraduate student of University Utara Malaysia of semester A182 in 2019, which is 26,708 students. All participants who responded to the questionnaires were included in the samples. The unit of analysis of these studies is individual. For the sampling design, we use sampling technique which is non-probability sampling, where the probability of any particular member of the population being chosen is unknown. Under the non-probability sampling, we choose convenience sampling technique, which is completely based on our convenience. Thus, the selection is of those who happen to get the link of questionnaires. Units are selected conveniently. Elements that do not get the link have no chance of being selected. For the data sources, we depend mainly on primary data as a source of data collection. Primary data for the purpose of this study will be obtained through questionnaire. We also use secondary data. Secondary data is the name given to the data that is extracted from already existing report and used for a purpose other than that for which they were originally collected. Secondary data for the purpose of this study will be electronic sources such as internet. Our data collection method is using a questionnaire with close-ended question from the area of research. The questionnaire was structured carefully to avoid respondent not understanding the question. Simple and easy words were therefore used so that respondent will easily understand as well as answer them. Possible answers were provided to enable respondents tick whichever answer they find suitable in terms of their response to the question. In all, total of 88 questions were given to be answered by respondents, which were the UUM undergraduate students. For the data sources, we depend mainly on primary data as a source of data collection. Primary data for the purpose of this study will be obtained through questionnaire. We also use secondary data. Secondary data is the name given to the data that is extracted from already existing report and used for a purpose other than that for which they were originally collected. Secondary data for the purpose of this study will be electronic sources such as internet. Our data collection method is using a questionnaire with close-ended question from the area of research. The questionnaire was structured carefully to avoid respondent not understanding the question. Simple and easy words were therefore used so that respondent will easily understand as well as answer them. Possible answers were provided to enable respondents tick whichever answer they find suitable in terms of their response to the question. In all, total of 88 questions were given to be answered by respondents, which were the UUM undergraduate students. For the data analysis, descriptive statistics such as table and histogram will be used to present information processed from data regarding to the factor that influence stress level among UUM undergraduate students. Correlation analysis is bivariate that measure the strength of association between 5 variables and the stress. Multiple linear regression analysis is used where more than one metric independent variable is hypothesized to affect one metric dependent variable. In summary, the research design population, which is undergraduate student of University Utara Malaysia of semester A182 in 2019, and the sample, which is the participant who responded to questionnaire, are chosen as individual for unit of analysis. The convenient sampling technique under non-probability sampling were chosen by us. And data sources are primary data and secondary data. The data collection methods are using questionnaire with close-ended question and collecting information from existing report. Type of data analysis used were descriptive statistic, correlation analysis, and multiple linear regression analysis. For pilot study, in frequency, all the variable is distributed normally as the skewness and kurtosis value are within range plus minus 2. In reliability analysis, we use Cronbach alpha. The purpose of Cronbach alpha is to assess internal consistency of the instrument used. The score of alpha value for stress is 0.941. For parent support, the score is 0.986. For peer support, the score is 0.975. For financial support, the score is 0.868. For time management, the score is 0.777, and for workload, the score of alpha value is 0.563. In t-test, independent sample t-test was performed to investigate the mean difference of stress between gender. The result shows a significant difference of stress between gender. For age, the result shows not significant difference of stress among age. For ethnicity, we cannot perform post hoc tests for ethnicity because our respondents for the pilot study are only Malay and Chinese. Others' ethnicity did not answer when we did the pilot study. For college, the result shows not significant difference of stress among college. For correlation, the results show a positive and little correlation between stress and all IV. In regression, multiple linear regression was performed to determine the best set of predictor variable in predicting stress. Based on coefficient table, one predictor variable, which is financial support, were found to be of significance in explaining stress. Meanwhile, parent support, peer support, time management, and workload is not able to show any significant result. The largest beta coefficient is found in financial and the lowest in parent support. This means that financial support makes the strongest contribution to explain the stress.
Hi, my name is Fatima Tahira binti Rusli. My metric number is 247654. Okay, next I will proceed with the descriptive statistic and descriptive analysis. Okay, based on the statistic that we get, the values, skewness and kurtosis are under the range positive and negative, which is the value for demographic is 1.014, for the stress negative 0.545, for the family support is 0.413, and for the peer support is negative 0.141, and for the financial support is negative 0.293, and for the time management, the value is negative 0.492, and the last one is for the workload. The value of the skewness is 1.050, so that all the value is still under the range of negative 2 to and negative 2 and positive 2, so that all of this variable, the variable of demographic, stress, parent support, peer support, financial support, time management and workload are distributed distributed normally as the skewness and kurtosis value are within the range of positive and negative based on the George and Mallory 2010.
Okay. Next is reliability. For the reliability, first of all, we need to find the comma alpha value. The purpose of the comma alpha value is to assess the internal consistency of the instrument used. Okay, let's see the score value of the comma alpha for DV and IVs. The score value for the comma alpha stress, parent support and peer support is 0.934, 0.990 and 0.978. This all score value is under the range. No, this all score value is above 0.9 based on the NALI 1978. This score is excellent, so we have no need to delete any item because it is already above 0.6. Next, the value of the financial support, time management and workload is 0.878, 0.5856 and 0.756. This range is in between of the 0.7 to 0.9, which is based on the NALI's 1987. It is good. So this one as well, we have no need to delete any item because it is already above 0.6. Okay, next I will talk about the hypothesis testing result. Here we do the independent t-test. Independent sample t-test was performed to investigate the mean difference between the stress and gender. Based on the Levin's test for the equality of the variance, that was found to be not violated for the present analysis, which is the mean of the value of f is 6.484 and the significant value is 0.012. Thus, the assumption of the homogeneity of variance was made. Based on the table that we have, the results show that the significance difference between the stress and gender, because the value of significance is 0.014, which is less than alpha. And the stress intention differs significantly between the male and female student, where the female was found significantly lower means 3.1245 and that lower than male. Male is 3.4204. So for the hypothesis of the t-test is the H0 is the stress intention not differ significantly between the male and female student. For the H alternative, the stress intention differs significantly between male and female students. Okay, next we do one-way ANOVA for age. One-way ANOVA between group analysis of variance was performed to investigate the mean difference of stress among the age. Based on the table, the results show it is not significant because the value of significance is 0.139, which is more than alpha, and the result of the level of stress differ among the age below 20 years old, 20 to 24 years old, and 25 years old and above. Based on post hoc test multiple comparison, it is not significant difference between below 20 years old, 20 to 24 years old, which is the value of significance is 0.142, and 20 years old to 24 years old and 25 years old and above, the value of significance is 1, which is more than alpha. So, for the hypothesis of one-way ANOVA for age is for the H0, the stress differs significantly among age, and for the H alternative, the stress differs significantly among for the H alternative, the stress not differ significantly among age. Next is one-way ANOVA for ethnicity. Based on the table that we get, the results show it is not significant because the value of their significance is 0.678, which is more than alpha. The result of the level stress is differ not significant among ethnicity from Malay, Chinese, Indian, and others. Based on the post hoc multiple comparison analysis, it is not significant difference are found between all the ethnicity because the significant value is 1, which is more than alpha. So the hypothesis for H0 is stress differ significantly among ethnicity, and for the hypothesis H alternative is stress are not differ significantly among the ethnicity. The next one is one-way ANOVA for college. Based on the table, the results show that it is not significant difference of stress among college. It is because the significant value is 0.379, which is more than alpha. The result of the table of stress is differ among from the CHAS, COB, and Colgis. This based on the post hoc multiple comparison analysis, it is not significant difference are found between the COB and CHAS, which is their value is 0.494, and between COB and Colgis, the value is 1, and the last one is between the CHAS and Colgis, which is the value is 1. So that the hypothesis of this one-way ANOVA for college, the hypothesis of the hypothesis null is stress differs significantly among college. For the hypothesis alternative, the stress not differ significantly among college. Okay, next we perform the correlation analysis. Here, for the person correlation was performed to determine the association between the DV and IV. So let's go through the one by one of the IV. Here we can see that the person correlation or value is all on the in between of the range 0.0 to 0.29, which is a little correlation. Okay. For the parent support, the significant value is 0.018, which is less than alpha, and it is significant. So for the hypothesis for the parent support is not relate significantly with stress not relate significantly with the parent support. For the H alternative, the stress significantly relate with the parent support. The next one is peer support. The peer support is not significant because the value is 0.102, which is more than alpha. And the hypothesis for the peer support is the stress relates significantly with the peer support, and for the hypothesis alternative, stress not relate significantly with the peer support. The next one is financial support. It is also not significant because their value is 0.221. So for the hypothesis, the null hypothesis for the financial support is not significant. The stress relates significantly with the financial support, and for the H alternative, stress not relate significantly with the financial support. We move to the next one is time management. Their value of the significance is 0.016, which is less than alpha, and it is significant. Thus, the hypothesis for the null hypothesis is significant. The stress not relate significantly with the time management, and for the alternative hypothesis, the stress significantly relate with the time management. And the last one is workload. The value of the significant is 0.00 which is significant, and the hypothesis of the workload is stress not relate significantly with the workload, and for the hypothesis of the alternative, stress significantly relate with the workload. Okay, next we perform the correlation analysis. Here, for the person correlation was performed to determine the association between the DV and IV. So let's go through the one by one of the IV. Here we can see that the person correlation or value is all on the in between of the range 0.0 to 0.29, which is a little correlation. Okay. For the parent support, the significant value is 0.018, which is less than alpha, and it is significant. So for the hypothesis for the parent support is not relate significantly with stress not relate significantly with the parent support. For the H alternative, the stress significantly relate with the parent support. The next one is peer support. The peer support is not significant because the value is 0.102, which is more than alpha. And the hypothesis for the peer support is the stress relates significantly with the peer support, and for the hypothesis and alternative, stress not relate significantly with the peer support. The next one is financial support. It is also not significant because their value is 0.221. So for the hypothesis, the null hypothesis for the financial support is not significant. The stress relates significantly with the financial support, and for the H alternative, stress not relate significantly with the financial support. We move to the next one is time management. Their value of the significance is 0.016, which is less than alpha, and it is significant. Thus, the hypothesis for the null hypothesis is significant. The stress not relate significantly with the time management, and for the alternative hypothesis, the stress significantly relate with the time management. And the last one is workload. The value of the significant is 0.00 which is significant, and the hypothesis of the workload is stress not relate significantly with the workload, and for the hypothesis of the alternative, stress significantly relate with the workload. Okay,
last but not least, we perform the regression analysis. There are multiple linear regression where performed to determine the best predictor variable in predicting stress. Based on the ANOVA table, the F statistic, we found that 3.870 is large, and the corresponding of p-value is highly significant, which is 0.002, which is less than alpha 0.005. And we move to the model summary. Based on the model summary table, the R-square value is 0.067, implies that the 5 predictors variable explain about 6.7% of the variation in the stress, and this is not good and not fits to the model, because the value just now is less than 30%. Okay, we move to the coefficient table. Based on the coefficient table, there are three predictors variable, which is financial support, time management, and workload. The value is 0.010. For the time management is 0.036, and for the workload is 0.010. It is found that to be significant in explaining stress. Meanwhile, the parent support and peer support for the value of 0.172 and 0.398 is not able to show any significant result. Here we can find that the largest beta coefficient, the largest beta coefficient is found in the workload, which is the beta value is 0.304, and the lowest is in peer support, which is the beta value is 0.073. This means that the workload makes the strongest contribution to explain the stress. And last but not least is linear regression. Here, this is their equation, which is y equals to beta 0 plus beta 1 plus x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus the rest, and plus error. So for our research, we get the result, which is y equals to 3.618 plus 0.085 for the parent support, plus negative 0.073 for the peer support, and plus negative 0.203 for the financial support, and plus 0.221 for the time management, and the last one we plus with the negative 0.304 for the workload, and the last one and then we plus error at the back. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tengku Suneni binti Tengku Syarif. My matric number is 247639. I will talk about chapter 5, the discussion of the IB and DB. First is the relationship between parent support and stress. From the result in chapter 4, we get the relationship between parent support and stress are significant, related. A little research in the direct area of stress and parent support are found for this study. As a student and children and state. Family can also be sources of stress for college students. Poor family relations can cause a student to have even great amount of stress during their graduate study. Parent support is the most important for children at all age when it will help their children feel safe at their environment. For the parent support, the student may reduce the stress. It is because family or parents are the one who are the closer to the student and they will feel comfort and freely to share and talk with. For the second IB is the relationship between peer support and stress that not significant related. As the student, we need peer support because we cannot do work alone or do assignment alone. In university, we need to get more friends as it is the lifestyle of student. It can be stressful for some students that try to find someone that they can share things with for the support they used to have. The process of development new friendship while integrating themselves into a new social network. It is difficult step in the developmental process for students. For the third IB is financial support. The relationship between financial support and stress is not significant because students think financial is not the main factor that cause stress to them, because many students got financial from their family, and some students that do the part-time job just to gain some knowledge or experience from the part-time job before they graduate. For the fourth IB is the relationship between workload and stress. It is significant. It is because the student think workload are the factor that cause them stress, because student did not arrange their schedule properly according to the assignments that are given. They like to do the assignments near to the due date. They make all the assignments can need to submit at the same day, and the student need to finish it in 1 week. That make their stress to finish it all at the 1 week. For the fifth IB is time management. The relationship between time management and stress is significant because the student could not manage their time with the proper schedule. They do not rearrange their schedule according to balance their academic studies and leisure time. Students more concentrate on leisure time for the early semester and concentrate on academic studies, but at the same time leisure time at the end semester that make they feel stressed because they also need leisure time after to do their academic. For the limitation, this research have limitation that the researcher used the convenient sample of students at one university. Besides that, the result that can only generalize to the specific sample studies. For another concerns, the respondent may not have actually followed the instructions when responding the questionnaire. This is lead to the inconsistent result. For another limitation of the research is include the small sample size of 200 students, which only represent a small portion of undergrad of university. Another limitation of the study include the time of survey distributions. The survey was sent out during the 8th week of the semester. and the time of this study is limited because the population study were in a week of tests, assignments, submissions, and representation that relatively closer to the midterm, which could cause an increase of stress in students. As for the recommendations, first, students should improve their relationship with the parents so that they can get parent support and it can lower the level stress of the student. Second, peers should give support to their friend by encouraging each other and give help when they are in needed. For the third recommendation is students should make record of their expenditure and plan their financial and to avoid stress. For the fourth recommendation is there should be a good balance between leisure time and academic studies to have a proper time management as a student. For the fifth recommendation is students should prepare their daily schedule based on priority to avoid their assignment from piling up. As the conclusions, various factors of stress in student life give negative impact such as unstable emotions that can lead to the ineffective studies, low academic performance, and the general health issue. This is done by identifying the factor of stress, which include lack of parent support, lack of financial support, work overload, poor time management, and finding the appropriate solutions. A lot of research have been done on stress and its management, and we hope that based on this analysis, this research will give a great help in helping the students to have excellent academic life without stress.